In the wonderful world of the DC Expanded Universe, we've seen iconic heroes grace the big screen with incredible feats of strength. From the Man of Steel, Superman, to the cybernetic Cyborg. But one hero landed in theaters back in 2019 that will forever hold my interest. From his spectacular suit to his charming attitude. I am speaking, of course, about the red-suited, age-changing hero, Shazam. God, I love this movie. I loved it so much that I saw it 3 times, clashing with my love for the more ambitious crossover released the same year. Today we're not only going to cover his strength, but his speed, durability, and energy output in order to find out how powerful is the DCEU Shazam. Seeing as this channel grew by covering the strengths of characters from Garnet to Juggernaut, why not start with determining Shazam's strength level? For starters, before Shazam could fly, he managed to lift and hurl the truck of 2 bullies. Said truck is a Ford F-150 7VT Raptor, a truck with a weight upwards of 6,113 pounds. Seeing as he had to lift and yeet that sucker, his lifting strength must exceed the aforementioned weight. In terms of attack potency, we see Billy casually crack a cement pillar during his learning montage, much different from a training montage. Assuming the surface area of his hand is roughly 8 square inches, and using construction concrete's tensile strength, we find that Shazam could easily dish out 5,800 pounds of force. Over 4 times the power of 80s heavyweight Frank Bruno. Not only can Shazam lift trucks, but he can also catch buses. Whether or not the reason behind the bus's crash is the fault of Billy is besides the point. After getting a blown out tire, this bus, a 1999 New Flyer D40LF, Shazam catches it before holding the weight and letting a good boy take his time to get out of the way. This bus weighs 27,500 pounds, but seeing as it was a relatively packed bus, we need to add the weight of the passengers. Assuming a gender divide of 50-50, and accounting for that bus's 40-person limit, as well as the average weight of a man and a woman in 2019, we can add the additional 7,440 pounds, giving a total lift of 34,940 pounds. That is several times greater than the record of 1,102 pounds set by Thor Bjornsson. During the climax of the movie, the Marvel family is seen saving a small carnival from the 7 deadly sins, and at one point, Pedro has to catch a collapsing Ferris wheel. No, there is no one definitive weight for a Ferris wheel, but ones this size can weigh as much as 32 tons, a whopping 64,000 pounds. And in a very unique reach in terms of calculating feet, we can return to the montage to when Shazam flicks this barrel into a wall. A barrel like that has a mass of 17 kilograms. It also moves about 12 meters in barely a second. At that mass and those speeds, Billy would be flicking with a kinetic energy of 2,127 joules. Now, that is not a lot compared to a bomb or anything, but it is leagues more impressive than a human male's flicking power. Seeing as an all-around normal guy can flick with an insane 0.15 joules. This means Shazam during the scene is nearly 14,200 times stronger than us normies. Seeing as athletes can lift roughly twice their body weights, Shazam, who weighs 220 pounds, would be able to shoulder the weight of nearly 6.25 million pounds. During his day out, Billy sees his adoptive sister Mary about to get hit by a truck before blitzing over and saving her. Assuming this truck is speeding, because, obviously, and using the normal 35 miles per hour speed in those neighborhoods as a reference, Shazam has to cover a distance of roughly 20 meters right as the truck is 2 meters from Mary, meaning he has only 89 milliseconds to reach her. With that time to cover said distance, Shazam must have been moving at speeds of 225.5 meters per second. While being choked by Dr. Savannah, the two fly in the air and breach the clouds. Clouds on a normal day in Philadelphia coast around 2,000 meters from surface level. Seeing as the two make this trip in 4.5 seconds, they'd be traveling at a speed of 445 meters per second. That is well over the speed of sound. Impressive for sure, but things don't stop there. If we return to the Ferris wheel catch scene, we also see Darla using the speed of Mercury to move much faster than the others in the Marvel family. Darla covers about 7 meters in a second and a half, making her speed barely 5 meters per second. But this is where we have to address just how slowed down things are. Assuming the souped up blue-clad Shazam over here is moving at the previously mentioned 445 meters per second, he only moves half an inch during the entirety of Darla's speedy save. At those speeds, this small distance would be covered in 23 microseconds. This means that Darla would actually be moving over 51,300 times faster than expected, putting her and potentially Billy's top speed around 240,000 meters per second, nearly 2 times the speed of lightning and well over Mach 698. For comparison, the Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird, the world's fastest jet aircraft, travels at 2,100 miles per hour, making Shazam over 255 times faster. Admittedly, there aren't a lot of feats for Shazam's durability in this movie. Sure, Shazam gets tickled by bullets from an M1911, but that's only 4,800 joules. It bat gets broken on him, but that's minuscule. Whether it was by himself or as the Marvel family, Billy was able to shrug off being punched by the 7 deadly sins. Seeing as their hands are about as big as a watermelon, and assuming they punch as hard as Billy, Shazam would be getting hit with nearly 570,000 pounds of force. Dr. Sivana also has lightning magic, and Billy gets hit with those all movie long, which is impressive since lightning bolts can carry nearly 1 billion joules in them. I mean, there is that one moment where Shazam is slammed by a semi-truck we could look at. On a Philadelphia highway, this truck will be moving at 55 miles per hour, and accounting for both the trailer and the driver, it would have a weight of 20,300 pounds, aka 9,227.27 kilograms. Using these factors in the equation for kinetic energy, we find that Billy got struck with 2,789,037 joules. But we can use the fact that Billy is moved forward about a foot to get an impact force of 8,350,410 newtons. If we go back to the bus catch, we can use the bus's mass and the height it fell from to get its potential energy, which is equal to kinetic energy. And then we can use the distance Shazam's hand moved down when bringing the bus to its stop to find out how hard it impacted his wrists. With its previously mentioned mass of 15,881 kilograms and at a height of 21 meters, with a slowdown distance of 8 inches, aka 0.2032 meters, we find that Billy endured a force of 16,101,440 newtons. That is about 2/3 of the force of a rocket ship during blastoff. Last but not least, let's talk about energy output. For one, Billy can use his zappy lightning to charge phones. Giving him the benefit of the doubt, let's say someone's phone is about to get a complete charge, something akin to 19,620 joules. Outside of this, we see Billy zap the geodome till the joints are a dull red. Okay, so things are about to get a little complicated, just stick with me on this one. Metal geodomes like this can be heated with a current running through them. So, using steel as the material being heated, we can use that metal's specific heat capacity with how much temperature change happens. Steel gets this color when it is as hot as 450 degrees Celsius. In Philly, the average nighttime temperature is roughly 34 degrees Fahrenheit, about 1.1 degrees Celsius. Geodomes like this have a mass of 95 kilograms. Now, at a temperature change of 448.9 degrees with a mass of 95 kilograms and a specific heat capacity of 420 joules per kilogram per degree Celsius, we find that on day 1 of superheroing, Billy could easily exert 17,955,000 joules. Then again, Billy can blast full-powered lightning bolts, which, again, hits with about 1 billion joules. Now, seeing as Shazam can channel the power of the gods, you know, his name, Shazam, stands for the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the power of Zeus, the courage of Achilles, and the aforementioned speed of Mercury. It's the power of Zeus that is of interest, though. While we haven't seen Billy perform feats anywhere close to what the in-universe Zeus has done, we have to assume that he could. For example, a severely weakened Zeus made the island of Themyscira. In order to create a large island like this, that would require an energy output of 550 gigatons. Enough to dwarf the Tsar Bomba 10,000 times over. But let's save discussing the higher end feats for when we get more of Shazam in his sequel. Which won't be out for 2 years, so... Until then, I want to thank you for stopping in at Honor's Place. I hope you enjoyed your stay, and if you enjoyed this content, feel free to show your support by hitting that like button, and if you want more like it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button before turning on notifications so you never miss an upload. And yeah, bye.